Hey guys, my name is Matt Johnson, and today I want to talk to you about how I transport the gear that I bring along with me to filming weddings and other video shoots like that. Now on the table in front of me, you can't really see from this wide angle, but due to the magic of B-roll, I'm going to be able to show you all of the gear that I normally bring with me whenever I film a wedding. I've got tripods, monopods, etc. Now up until about 6 months ago, I was literally loading and unloading everything by hand. Yes, I would wake up on the morning of a video shoot and I would go to my closet and start picking up my tripod and my monopod and everything else, and I would take it to my car and load it. And then whenever I get to the venue, I would unload everything, taking a couple trips. And this would repeat, especially if there was any sort of venue changes or anything like that, until the end of the night, at which point I was really tired and I hated myself for doing this. And I was thinking, there has to be a better way for me to do this. There's actually still more stuff over there. I haven't got everything, but this is roughly a representation. After doing things like this for many years, both me and my back realized this was not the best way to be doing things. And so I began looking at gear cases that would enable me to transport all of this stuff quickly and effectively. And after many weeks of research, I settled on the SKB R4209 roto-molded tripod case with wheels. This is what we're going to be reviewing today. This is the 49-inch model. They also sell the R3709, which is a 42-inch model, but I don't own that and I've not used it, so we're going to be focusing on this one because this is the one that I have and love and want to review. Incidentally, as an ethics statement, this is a completely independent review. I've not been paid by SKB to say anything about this case. I didn't receive it for free. I completely independently went out and bought it 6 months ago because I needed a case and I really like it, and so I decided to make a review about it. So on to the hardware. Overall, this thing is built like a tank, and I would compare it heavily to a Pelican hard case. It's made of similar hard plastic material. The case itself comes in two pieces, which I'm calling the base and the lid, and they are held together by heavy-duty buckles and straps, which I would compare to either tie-down straps or even seat belts. You can easily remove the lid by detaching both of the buckles and sliding up, and the lid comes right off. Hello! You hear that echo? This thing is massive. It's like a black hole. It has so much space for storing gear. When you first open the case, you're going to notice that there's no foam padding on the sides. But SKB did put foam padding on the base and on the lid, which are the main impact points for whenever you are loading and unloading your tripods and other gear. Sliding the lid onto the case and snapping the buckles is quite a satisfying sound too. The rotating case handle itself is quite sturdy, and I find that the 49-inch model is just about perfect for wheeling comfortably through crowded places. They also have two handles on the side that I find really easy to grip. But what you're probably thinking is, Matt, why do they have both handles right here? Why don't they have one handle at the top and one handle at the bottom? That way like two people could help each other transport this thing. My main reasoning thinking for why they didn't do that is because you notice, first of all, these handles are actually cutting into the case, meaning that you are actually losing storage space by these handles being here. The other thing to consider is that whenever you're putting a tripod or other gear down into it, it's really easy whenever you're at the top of the case to say, okay, this is how much room I have. I can clearly see like that this is coming in a bit. So whenever you're wedging things in, it's easier. But if one of these handles was way down here, you wouldn't really be able to see this indentation down at the bottom of the case, which could make packing things more difficult. That's why I think they put both of these up here. Now you're probably thinking at this moment, of course it's easy for lift. He has nothing inside it. And that may be true. But through experience, I can say that this thing is very easy to transport around, either using the wheels and rolling it around or by using the handles. Wheel quality on this case is really good. If I was to compare them, I would say like heavy-duty rollerblade wheels, if you guys remember those from back in the day. These things work really well, and after 6 months of use, they have very few little dents and dings in them. They're still in great shape. But build quality doesn't really mean anything if this case can't hold a lot of stuff. So now I'm going to show you everything that this black hole of a case can hold. Starting off, a full Manfrotto video tripod with fluid head, a second tripod with another fluid head that I'm going to remove first. It will go in there eventually. A 30-inch slider that I'm also going to remove the head from. A Manfrotto video monopod. Another smaller Manfrotto monopod. We call this one the baby pod. A light stand in its case. A GlideCam HD 4000 broken down. And the two tripod heads. That's it. Lid goes down, snaps on. Pretty much everything that I take to a wedding, normally that I would have to transport by hand and hate myself, now it is all in one easily wheeled case. That I can lift. See, you thought I couldn't earlier. I can lift it, it's fine. No big deal. Between this case and my camera gear bag, I can pretty much walk into a wedding and be like, hello, I'm here. This is all that I have. it is so much easier than taking multiple trips to the car. As you can see, everything fits pretty snugly with the tripod heads on top. Overall, there's not a lot of room for things to bounce around because it is so tightly packed, which is what I prefer. Another huge pro of this case is SKB's lifetime warranty. So in the event that I do somehow manage to break this case, they should replace it for free. So far in this review of this case, I've talked a lot about the positives because it really is a great case that's fun to use and makes my life a lot easier. But there are a few weak points that I want you to be aware of if you're thinking about buying this case. My first issue with this case, and this is honestly the biggest con in my opinion, has to do with these straps and the buckles. Now you can tell that whenever SKB was designing this case, they wanted something that was very simple. So it's honestly as easy to take off the lid as undoing the two buckles and pulling up. The con of this is that sometimes if you're in a hurry, like I am for example at a wedding, and you neglect to strap both of the buckles on fully securely and one of them is loose, whenever you pull up on the case, it's going to slide and then the lid will come open. You'll notice quickly because as you start pulling the case, it starts acting really weird. So you'll have to go and pull down on this strap and then bring it back down and lock it into place. Not that big of a deal, right? Well, it isn't unless you are traveling on a plane. Now, let's say you're flying on an airline because you have a destination wedding and you want to bring along your new awesome hard case that has all of your support gear inside it, and then you're just carrying on your cameras, and it sounds like a pretty good system, right? The con of this case is that, as we've already seen, there are only two buckles and a strap holding it on. So in the event that the lovely baggage claim person drops your case, throws your case, punches your case, anything else like that, there is a very real chance that one of these buckles could come open, and whenever that happens, the lid slides up and off, and there goes all of your camera gear. So, if you are planning on flying, I would not necessarily recommend using this case unless maybe you could tape it or something like that, but then the TSA still might cut the tape to get inside it. So I probably would just avoid it, and I would consider purchasing a hard golf bag that actually locks. So I will do a review about one of those eventually if I ever buy one. But in the meantime, for this case, I would really only recommend using it if you are doing a shoot where you can drive to it and you just need a way to quickly transport stuff around in your car. Another con to consider is the lack of padding inside the case. As I said earlier, there is foam at the top and at the bottom, but none along the sides. So if you are transporting gear that is not quite as rugged as a tripod and you're worried about it being jostled around and slammed into other things, you may want to invest in a different case that has more foam padding on the side. If you are wedging it full of tripods, glide cams, and light stands like I am, where there's not really a chance of stuff shifting around too much, this is an awesome case. Overall, I love this case and my back loves it too. It has made me more organized. It has helped me whenever I'm loading and unloading from a wedding or another shoot. And the build quality and lifetime warranty mean that it's going to be with me for a long time into the future. If you were looking for a way to transport all of your gear without breaking your back or your wallet, the SKB R4209 roto-molded tripod case, man, that was a long title. I think this case is a great investment. Speaking of investment, I bought mine on Amazon for $200, but I've seen them on Amazon warehouse deals refurbished for as cheap as $170. So keep that in mind whenever you're looking to buy one. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in more reviews, training, and tutorials aimed at helping wedding filmmakers, please consider subscribing to my channel. As always, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave one below or get in touch with me through my website, WhoisMatt.com. You can also check out my wedding film production company, Filmstrong Productions, at filmstrong.com. Thanks and have a great day.